folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Is it all right if I just talk? I mean, just talk. Nothing that's too particular. I mean, I guess it is, since it is my channel. Even though it's actually not. I turned whatever I'm doing here over to God a long time ago. And hope and pray that whatever I say on here, whether it's ridiculous or not, that he will use somehow to shine a light into you. That's something that I pray every day, is that somehow that I could be a vessel to shine that light into someone's life. Anyways, just thinking about the world and how things are speeding up, things are coming unraveled, and the time is ticking away. There's not a whole lot of time left. Now, I don't have dates. That's not what I'm talking about. We just don't have as much time, I think, as many people think, to really get our houses in order, to really get ready. And I find myself feeling very compelled to kind of, at least sometimes, kind of shift gears on this channel and not worry about so much of the, I don't know, maybe the little details of, how to build a bug out bag. I mean, there's thousands of videos on YouTube. How many more videos does the world need on how to put together a survival kit or a bug out bag? Figure there's probably been a lot of really good, knowledgeable people cover that subject, so maybe it's not me to do that anymore. I've done enough of that in the past. I want to talk about things that really kind of open your eyes and get you ready. Because the stuff that's happening, the stuff that's most likely going to happen, I mean, the things that we already see happening, the digital dollars and the digital ID and the social credit scores. And we're not even yet talking about, the wars and the constant intrusion upon your individual rights. This kind of stuff it's getting serious, and it's not going to go away anytime too soon. If you believe that in 2 years, because someone else might get elected, that it's all going to turn around and change, I mean, that's your choice to believe that, but I think we've gone a little too far down this road to just make a quick 180. The world is getting to be a pretty rough place, and for people like myself and yourself, Bible believing, Jesus serving, Yeshua serving, God believing, whatever title you want to put on it. I don't even know anymore. Times aren't going to go any better for us. It's not going to get any easier. You patriot, freedom-loving people, conservative, traditional value people, it's not going to get any better for you. And we have to be serious and get serious about our level of preparations. And again, I'm not just talking about bug out bags and buckets of beans and rice. I mean, that's good stuff, and you should be doing that. And if you want some information on how to do it better, I'm sure, again, that YouTube is filled with thousands of videos on how to do those things. But we also need to be talking about other stuff. We need to be talking about how to live, to survive, and thrive in this coming system. I mean, we can look at other places around the world and kind of get a glimpse of what we're probably going to face. If you want to talk about the big brother technology, look at China and what they're going through and how bad it's gotten. And it's only getting worse. It's possible that we could face something like that. You look at civil unrest, and you look at countries like Libya and South Africa and other places like that. That have gone through Venezuela, that's gone through economic crashes or governmental crashes of some sort, that, disorder is everywhere and civility is gone. It's the kind of stuff that we could easily see at some point in our future. We need to be talking about that. We need to be figuring out as individuals and as groups what we can do to live outside of that, because it's going to be here. It's going to exist. And it already is in certain places in this country. Already today, there are certain places that it's absolutely too safe for the average person, or especially someone that thinks and believes like you and I. And so we need to be doing everything that we can right now to prepare for that. And if it's creating systems outside of the system, if it's acknowledging and realizing that just because something is government approved doesn't mean that it's the best way to do something. You know, I often tell the story that it's not a story, I mean it is, but it's the truth. You know, we live in a home that's not government approved. Why? Because where we live, we don't have to get permits for things. We don't have to get building inspections and permits. So my house was built by myself, and it isn't government approved because it's not necessary. My children are taught the way that myself and my wife choose to teach them. We're not government approved. We don't register with the local school board or with the state or anything like that. We live the life that we choose to live, and we teach our children that way. We don't go to a government approved doctor, and we don't get government approved medications. We go to a place that treats us, and when we're ill, they take care of those needs. These are the kind of things that you and I can actually do already. I mean, it doesn't fix everything. I'm not delusional. I get that. But it's one more step away from this system that's coming down and crashing around us. And the further we can find ourselves away from that, the better off we're going to be when the big old Tower of Babel comes crashing down. Having this idea that, I don't know, is it Prepper Fluff? That watching a video on, which way to pack your little survival kit is, the best thing that you can spend your time with. I mean, if that's what you really need to do right now, of course do it. But, I believe in contingencies and planning for things and having redundancies to stuff. And if I've spent so many hours trying to watch all these videos on putting together a bug out bag, and yet I've not done any research on how I'm going to work together with others around me and how we're going to figure out a bartering system or a alternative money system or how we're going to teach our children, then I put all my effort into developing multiple redundancies in one area, and I've not even focused on a primary in another area. I understand that some of you are still very new to this, and you're still learning, and things like how to seal up your beans in a bucket is important to you. Well, so go ahead and continue learning that. But you need to play catch up pretty quickly, because the world is not becoming better. And so a lot of the content you might hear on here, it may not sound like your typical standard prepper content, but I assure you that it really is, because it's preparing our lives and our families and the people around us. It's trying to open our minds as to what are there some alternatives out there, so that when this all comes crashing down, we're not living like the Book of Eli and, all these other kinds of apocalyptic movies where we're eating out of the garbage and, killing each other because it's horrific. That's going to be done on the outside. And we need to do everything we can within our groups and our communities and our families to ensure that we can live a life outside of that. Because if you're tethered to the system now, when it comes crashing down, you're going to be tethered to whatever becomes of it. Now is the time to find ways to live outside of it and to be as self-sufficient and independent as you possibly can. And that's one of the big things that I promote when it comes to, all of this community stuff we're talking about. It's creating our own infrastructure that we control, infrastructure that's not tethered to any system, so that when those systems fail, our infrastructure still stands. This is what's necessary, folks. It is a part of prepping. It's a big part, maybe one of the biggest parts. It's time that we start doing this kind of stuff. It's time we start planning for these things. Not planning that, it's going to be Mad Max and there's not going to be electricity and there's not going to be, government. I mean, there may not be, but there also could be a lot of government, a lot more than there exists now, with a lot of technology that's used to control you. And so what can you do now to set yourself up, your family, and those others around you to be outside of that system as much as possible? I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying that we're going to be able to fix everything. But if we work together now, we can possibly find solutions. Solutions that work right now today. And solutions that will work in the future as things get worse. Right now is the time to get your houses in order, folks. It's time to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.